Couleur Stade Sotteville, 76 du Burkina Faso, un record à 38, Innocent Polo. Couleur Stade Sotteville, 76, Yoli Presto. Couleur Stade Sotteville, 76, Steven Yoli.
Roma. Ouais.
Having a quick look at the local competitions here. We are actually getting the signal, I can see that, which is jolly good.
De manière magistrale les couleurs de la sécane, même si on sait qu'il est originaire de la région normande. On le voit sur l'écran à l'heure actuelle, le retour. Sans doute partagé entre le plaisir de la victoire et le bon temps, et puis cette espèce de frustration de pouvoir homologuer cette performance à cause d'un néon trop favorable.
Yes, I can, but you're very quiet. Can you hear me okay? Not too bad, Ketal. Where are you at the moment? Oh, Colombia. Great. Well, we've actually got a few Colombian athletes competing tonight. I don't know whether you'll be watching or you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at once. I know what the story is anyway. So, I'm just chatting away at the moment. We're looking at the local races. I've got it down at 360. How is it all sounding at the moment? If you can push up your microphone a little bit, push up the fader. I'm struggling to hear you. I'm hearing the program loud and clear, so that's not a problem. So we're looking at a replay of the men's 100 metres coming to you from the Stade Municipal Jean Adet in Sotteville, Rouen. That means Sotteville near Rouen, and in fact it's just over the river from the Normandy capital. And we're going to quickly move along to the women's 200 metres. But here's the results, first of all, from that men's 100 metres B final. And it was Meba Mikhail Zeze, 10:22. Just waiting to see whether he's included in the French team going to the Olympics. Might well be part of the relay squad. Yeah, no, I'm still struggling to hear you actually, to be honest. But I can hear you. Yeah. Well, this is going to be a thrilling finale to this women's 1500 metres, and it's going to be Ducheret coming through, and she's going through very strongly indeed. Everything sound good? Brilliant. I'm very relieved about that because the speed test suggests that we are the upload speeds are not great. They're at about 17 or 18, which I know is a bit marginal. But if you're sounding good, if you're happy with the sound that you're getting, we'll take it from there and keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, well, as long as it's stable. I guess now it's probably the time when it's most likely to be a little bit variable because of usage around this time. So if it's stable now, I think we're in business. Okay. So this is an exciting 100 metres being set up for later on this evening, looking at the men going through their paces here in the warm-up area, and soon they'll go into the call room, and this race is scheduled to get underway at 2000 local time in Rouen. That's 1900 British summer time, and of course Ireland and the Canary Islands and other parts of Europe as well. But just set your watches, it's 2000 local time, 1800 GMT. Okay, I'll drop into the studio in about 40 minutes time, about 5 minutes before we go on air. Okay, Sergio. Hasta ahora.
La prochaine épreuve. La prochaine épreuve dédiée aux dames, le numéro de disque 200 mètres. C'est l'épreuve présentée par deux modérants.
Couleur 7, c'est un athlétisme, Sotteville, bien. Couleur 6, stade réglé, 76, Hélène Cameron. Couleur 5, pompe de mer, AC Jade Archie. Couleur 4, stade réglé, 76, Lise Lop. Couleur bien, record, à 23,89, Esther Widget. Couleur 2, romantique, athlétisme, Texas, 97. départ du 200 mètres féminin avec Esther Wenjiene qui semble bien parti, qui va rentrer en tête dans la ligne droite.
Oh oui, c'est bien mec qui tient la corde, si on veut parler de cette expression. Esther Wenjiene. Esther jusqu'au bout, il est à l'extérieur, Lise Langlois va prendre la deuxième place. 23 secondes 99 centièmes. Le temps affiché de manière officieuse. Et 23,98. Il gagne un petit centième. Lise Langlois 24,83. Et malheureusement, une fois de plus, j'espère qu'on va se calmer pour la suite du meeting, mais on est obligé d'annoncer un vent trop favorable, plus 3 mètres. Dans une course remportée par Esther Wenjiene, 23,98, 24,83 pour Lise Langlois. Et pour compléter le podium, troisième, Jade Agir, 25 secondes 38 centièmes.
Ouais.
Bigorre. Couloir 2, 7 stabilisation associée et Benjamin Lutu. Couloir 1, stabilisation de 16, Joël Leclerc.
À vos marques.
Le départ partiel par le virage. Vous pouvez souffler pour s'engager de droite avec
c'est une rengaine. Le pont soufflé trop fort, plus 3,5. 21 secondes, 14 centièmes. Le temps ayant confirmé, la victoire d'Adrien Peralta ne fait plus de doute. Sébastien Dubois, du club local, du club organisateur. Il y a beaucoup d'éléments dans ce meeting meeting régional. Il y aura aussi les athlètes du club organisateur qui seront dans le meeting international. On y reviendra tout à l'heure. Sébastien Dubois, donc, en deuxième en 40e. Ryan Bigorne, 3e, en 21 secondes et 63 centièmes. Daniel et Eric sont arrivés de leur nord natal et apprécient énormément le vent froid. la société Continental, partenaire de l'événement du meeting international 2024, le 100 mètres féminin, sport adapté. Et lorsque vous applaudissez ces jeunes femmes, vous applaudirez également les organisateurs qui ont réalisé là une très belle initiative.
Pour de l'événement fermant, je vous demande d'applaudir Oumou Keïta. Mais plus de lui. Pour l'envoi de la FRA du mois. Pour l'honneur des J.C. Burgers. Pour l'honneur de Rachel Sotteville. Pour l'honneur de l'Ice Nigodine Anne-Sophie Locke. Pour l'honneur de l'élan sport Étrepanie Laura Roel. L'arbitre de Lava Sylvie Lejeune.
Attention.
À vos marques. Ouais.
C'est parti pour vous, soyez juste les passagers de la ligne. Et nous vous maintenant, c'est tout le monde devant la série, tout le monde virtuel. Tout le monde est là, parfait devant la série, Sylvie Lejeune.
Applaudissements pour Catherine, pour ce 100 mètres féminin, sport adapté, fait beaucoup plus de bruit. Voilà, super. Elle va clôturer Anne-Sophie Locke, qui va clôturer son départ.
Beau clin d'œil à ces athlètes, beau clin d'œil à Vincent Goffin et toute son équipe d'avoir mis en place le cours. Il y a des euros qui va arriver dans quelques instants. Et puis on en profite également un beau clin d'œil aux éducateurs qui s'occupent et aux familles qui s'occupent de ces jeunes trop compliqués. Le vent est de plus en plus fort. Il a été mesuré à 4,9 mètres dans cette épreuve. C'est l'ouverture de Alice. On va mettre une bonne musique. Il y en a des Pays-Bas.
On départ le 100 mètres masculin sport technique, épreuve marquée par le Continental. Au couloir de l'Est, rue de Thomas, 605 débris. Au couloir de l'Est, rue de
À vos marques. Prêt?
Chrono confirmé avec vos applaudissements. tester le public de Sotteville Leroy. On va vous demander d'accompagner le son en tapant dans vos mains. Donc je compte sur vous pour réagir. Allez, Chichi, ça va. Écoutez, je compte sur vous là, parce que ça va jouer les épreuves de concours, le film de son et la perche, le public, écoutez le son, levez les bras. Allez, on peut lever les bras dans la cellule. On lève les bras, on lève les bras, on les lève, c'est formidable. Et on vous lève la main,
Continuez. En plus, ça réchauffe. lorsqu'on est des spectateurs, on est également acteurs d'un tel événement. Bienvenue pour cette édition, comment dire, olympique, une version olympique de ce meeting international de Sotteville. Et dans quelques instants, ce près du podium, on va pas commencer par une première remise de médailles, mais on va accueillir celles et ceux qui ont contribué, grâce à leur structure, grâce à leur fédération, grâce à leur entreprise, grâce à leur collectivité, ont permis de pouvoir mettre en place le tir. Les personnalités vont venir, vous allez les applaudir. Musique! On va accueillir Madame Aline Louis, vice-présidente en charge du sport et de la jeunesse et du nautisme pour la région Normandie. Monsieur David Amirez, représenté par Laurence Renou, vice-présidente de la métropole Rouen-Normandie. Également chez Alexis Ragache, le maire de Sotteville-les-Rouen, qui nous accueille sur ces terres aujourd'hui et qui a publié la bonne météo. Merci Monsieur le maire. On accueillera également Madame Séverine Geste, vice-présidente en charge de la jeunesse et des sports au département de la Seine-Maritime. Également M. Nassim Tonavelle, le président du stade Sotteville Cheville-Ouvrière de ce meeting. Et puis également Mme Anne Tournier, la séance vice-présidente de la Fédération française d'athlétisme. Alors on glisse, mais vous pouvez les applaudir, bien évidemment. Vous devez les applaudir, sinon vous et moi, on n'est pas là. Alors c'est M. le maire qui va nous délivrer son message de bienvenue. D'abord au nom de tous les athlètes, merci d'avoir prévu le beau temps.
Merci beaucoup. Je ne sais pas si je suis pour grand-chose quand même pour la météo. On est ravis d'avoir le soleil revenu. Pardon. Madame la vice-présidente de la région Normandie, Madame la vice-présidente du département de Seine-Maritime, Madame la vice-présidente de la métropole Rouen-Normandie, Madame la vice-présidente de la Fédération d'athlétisme. Je reviendrai sur ma citation. Mesdames, Messieurs, ravi de vous accueillir pour cette 36e édition du meeting international d'athlétisme à Sotteville-les-Rouen. 36e édition. Le meeting est un peu plus âgé que Vivacité pour dont nous avons fêté les 35 ans, mais c'est vrai qu'à Sotteville, la culture et le sport sont intimement mêlés. Je veux d'abord commencer mon propos par remercier Maxime Tonrel, le président du stade Sotteville 76, Nicolas Parisi, son vice-président, l'ensemble des 160 bénévoles, des 100 jurys et des 60 agents de la collectivité qui travaillent sur ce meeting depuis déjà un long moment, mais surtout sur un kit, puisque on a rappelé effectivement, et je remercie nos financeurs, que sont la région, le département, la métropole, qui est le plus gros financeur, évidemment la région qui participe. Et sans eux, il n'y aurait pas ce magnifique meeting. Il y a quelques jours, nous étions aussi rassemblés ici pour ponctuer la semaine de journée olympique et on s'est tous retrouvés ici avec l'ensemble des clubs sportifs, avec des centaines de Sottevillais pour réaliser un tifo pour les Jeux olympiques. C'est dire si le sport est un événement toujours fédérateur. Ce meeting en est encore la preuve. Et je vous remercie véritablement d'être venus aussi nombreux. Je suis désolé, je tourne le dos à un nombre conséquent de spectateurs. Merci à vous parce que sans vous aussi, ces meetings auraient sans doute moins d'intérêt pour encourager des sportifs de haut niveau, des athlètes. Et ça nous fait toujours plaisir évidemment de voir les gradins remplis. Donc un grand merci à vous et pour paraphraser Hemingway, le sport est une fête. Et je vous souhaite donc un beau meeting à toutes et à tous. Et gardez en tête que
ces valeurs de sport, l'universalité, l'humanisme, même s'il y a de la compétition, il y a toujours de la fraternité. Et en ce moment, nous en avons fortement besoin. Donc, beau meeting à tout le monde. Merci. Merci, monsieur le maire. Merci, mesdames et messieurs, l'ensemble des fédérations et de collectivités. Et puis, ne croyez pas que vous ne ferez rien, parce qu'on va vous faire travailler, mesdames et messieurs. Et oui, vous aurez le plaisir, on imagine, de récompenser tout à l'heure, lors des 3 moments de cérémonie protocolaire, les lauréats de ces courses et de ces sauts internationaux.
Et on va vous présenter dans quelques instants les principaux athlètes, un plateau exceptionnel sur l'ensemble des épreuves, en commençant, Jean-François, par le 100 mètres féminin.
Oui, effectivement, on en voit. Qui sprint, dit souvent les USA, celle qui a déjà gagné ses points de 11 secondes sur 100 mètres, 94 exactement. L'américaine Selena Barnes.
On va aller du côté du centre, là qu'on va parler. Fulcan Bonnet, licencié au 4 février 76, finaliste des championnats du monde. Enfin, l'hiver dernier, un record à 9 secondes, 96 centièmes fait du demi-tour. Emmanuel et Céline.
Toujours pour représenter le continent africain.
Well, welcome to the 2024 meeting of Sotteville Le Rouen. As you can see there in the centre of the field here at the Stade Municipal Jean Arret. This is one of the major warm-up meetings as we get closer and closer to the Olympic Games in Paris, coming up in just under a month's time. And you'll be seeing in action tonight many competitors who will be making that 130-kilometre trip over the course of the next few weeks. It takes about 2 hours by car to go from here to the Stade de France in the northern part of Paris in the Saint-Denis suburb. Well, we've got a packed programme for you, 13 events in total. Only 2 field events though, but we'll be getting underway very shortly with the women's 400 metres hurdles. Here we can see perhaps the favourite for this race, the Australian Serikali. Well, back in 2011, she was the silver medalist at the World Under-18 Championships, has a personal best of 54.66, and she's one of the women we've talked about who will be going to Paris and representing her country at the Olympic Games. Carly, the fastest woman in this field, but a very, very useful lineup indeed. And there is the full lineup. From the inside, we have Alicia Maitar Dekuleleni, Zimbabwe's Ashley Miller, Linda Angnunu of Cameroon, Sarah Carley, as I mentioned, Australia in lane 4, perhaps the favourite, also the very good South African alongside her, and the reigning All-Africa Games champion, Raguel Joseph, Danielle Fra, Camille Seri, and this woman, Olivia Alexandre, complete the lineup. Alexandre, 23 years of age, and 5th in last weekend's national championships for France. Set her PB there of 57.40 in Angers. Camille Seri, well, she's twice been a member of French 4x400 metre relay teams that have got medals at the European Under-23 Championships. This is the rapidly improving young Spaniard, Daniela Fra. Set her personal best of 55.71 in the recent European Championships heat. Raguel Joseph, All-Africa Games champion just a short while ago, and also took the gold medal at the African Championships as well. Now Sarah Carley, she's part of her European tour. She's part of a big contingent of Australians and New Zealanders who are going to be based in Europe over the course of the next month as they get ready for Paris. Cameroon's Linda Angnunu, national record of 55.94 in 2023 last year. Third at both the recent African Championships and All Africa Games. Ashley Miller from Zimbabwe, improved this season, has a personal best of 56.63, and on the outside, well, getting valuable experience, the young French woman Alicia Maitar Dekuleleni, 62.33 her personal best.
Attention, au départ, 45 mètres entre le départ et la première haie, 35 mètres entre ces obstacles, il y en aura 10.
There's Raguel Joseph. Both she and Carly have secured their places at the Olympics as they settle into their blocks. From the inside, it's Maitar Dekuleleni, Miller, Angnunu, Carly, Joseph, Fra, Seri, and Alexandra. It looks as though Joseph's away just slightly quicker than Carly on her inside, who's expected to be a main rival. And Joseph is indeed the first to rise at that second hurdle. And she's starting to pull away very well down the back straight, but Carly's coming back to her, also having a good run on the inside. Angnunu as well. But it's Carly and Joseph definitely leading the way at the moment. You can see them in the centre of your screen. Carly, the taller, in lane 5 on her inside. Should say Joseph the taller on the inside. Now it's Carly coming up. So with just 2 barriers to go coming into the home straight, Carly just has the lead at the moment, but having a really good run. Linda Angnunu, the Cameroon athlete, on her inside. Carly's having to battle here, and Joseph's coming through very quickly. The South African takes it in 56.01 unofficially. Just over a second outside the meeting record from 2012. Well, it's very windy out there. It's warmish conditions. It's around 17 degrees. But we're seeing in some of the national races a little bit earlier, wind readings of well over 2 meters per second. And that's on their backs, so it would have been in the faces of the hurdlers down the back straight. Joseph, her time revised to 56 seconds exactly. Carly 56.12. Angunu 56.23, season's best for the Cameroon athlete. It was Joseph who was out the quickest. And on the run in, Joseph coming through very strongly off the final hurdle, just to overtake Carly on her inside and get the win here. That'll be a nice morale boost for the South African. So the volunteers and officials here clearing away the 400 metres hurdles. Rogel Joseph confirmed 56 seconds exactly to take the win ahead of Australia's Sarah Carly, 56.12, and Linda Angunu, who competes for the local club here in Rouen, the Sotteville 76 club, takes third. And we will see quite a lot of those Sotteville 76 club athletes in action here, because it's one of the strongest clubs in France and they have a plethora of international runners. Very shortly getting underway will also be the women's pole vault final. That's scheduled to get underway in about 5 minutes time, and the next action on the track comes up at 8:10 local time, that's Central European time in Rouen. Of course, if you're watching from elsewhere in the world, I'll be chatting about the local times, but we're 2 hours ahead of GMT, so that'll be able to mark your cards that way. And of course, all the results, there's a link via the European Athletics website, so go to www.european-athletics.com, and there's also links to a plethora, I love that word, plethora, of social media channels, and European Athletics have a huge amount of content, a lot of it relating to the recent European Athletics Championships in Rome, which concluded just a couple of weeks ago, and there's a huge amount of replays and interviews there. That's the full lineup of the women's pole vault. Of course, the woman to look out for is the Australian Nina Kennedy, reigning world champion. Also got a bronze medal back in 2022. And that's cleared 480 this year. So she's very much the star name in this event. Louise Boulon, she was 6th in the national championships. Well, we're not getting individual introductions, but this is Alban Dodain, who was 1 place ahead, 5th in the national championships. Elise Roussis alongside her. Far end, Kennedy, quite wisely keeping very warm in that bright orange, looks like a skiing jacket, warm weathered. Finally we're underway, and you can see that they've got the bibs on the backs. Louise Boulon, as I mentioned, best of 4:35, 6th in the national championships recently. Here's Alban Dodain, 5th in the national championships, getting themselves sorted out. Elise Roussis, recently improved to 4:36. This is Alex Dehenain, 3rd at the national championships in on-shares. Get to the international competitors. Imogen Harris. She's also improved too. Oh, they're not in order, they're all over the place. But Harris is also on her way, it looks like, on her way to Paris as well. There's Olivia McTaggart, the New Zealander. Jumped 4:63 just over 2 weeks ago in Courtois in Finland. Here's Gabriela Leon, the American NCAA champion 2 years ago in 2022, 8th at last week's US Championships. And there is Nina Kennedy. No mistaking her in that bright orange jacket. Australian. Set a personal best of 4:91 last year's. Technically indoors, but it was in the Zurich railway station as part of the Diamond League. Starting height in the women's pole vault will be 420. That'll go up pretty quickly in 20 centimetre increments to 440 and then to 450 and 460. Got 3 women in that pole vault field who've cleared 470 or better during their careers. McTaggart, Leon and Kennedy. We quickly move back to the track, and it's Claudine Anjarasoa in lane 1. But the woman we're really going to be looking out for is the American Celera Barnes. She's in lane 4. 11:02 recently, back in May in Doha. Didn't make the US team for Paris, but nevertheless a classy sprinter. Nice overhead shot of the Stade Municipal Jean d'Arret. Of course, we're not very far from Rouen itself, just on the other side of the river. That's the Seine, which goes all the way to Paris. Be interesting to see here the wind reading, because as I say, sort of some of the early national races had some very strong following winds. Well, the French-based Madagascan, Claudine Anjarasoa, 4th in the recent All-Africa Games. Marie Lecomte, well, she's at 11:23 runner at best. Disappointingly crashed out at the French Championships in the heats of the 100 metres. Here's the Congo 100, 200 and 400 metres record holder, and she's based at the local club Sotteville 76. That's Natasha Ngoe Akamabe. Celera Barnes on form after finishing 3rd in Doha, very much the favourite. Olan Olieri finished 3rd at the championships, the national championships, and she will be going to the Olympics. Best last year of 11:06, season's best this year of 11:15. Angela Tenorio set a personal best of 10:99 9 years ago, 2015, which was a South American under-20 record, but has run 11:09 this year. Cuba's Unisladis Garcia. Garcia, an 11:08 runner at best. And then on the outside, Marie-Ange Remlinger, familiar face to many, many watchers of these European athletics live streams covering the World Athletics Continental Tour, silver and bronze and challenger meetings.
On your marks.
From the inside, Narasoa, Lecomte, Ngoe Akamabe, Barnes, Olieri, Tenorio, Garcia and Rimlinger. Keep an eye on lanes 4 and 6, Barnes and Tenorio, the women in form.
Set.
Well, Barnes had a dreadful start there. She sort of limped out of the blocks. I was wondering whether she was waiting for a recall. Instead, it's Olieri in lane 5, the Frenchwoman. Well, that looks as though it could be a personal best equaling run, or at least a season's best. Olieri, well, that upset the form book. 11.15 for Olieri. She showed she was in good form at the National Championships last weekend when she finished third. Angela Tenorio finishing a long way back, disappointing 11.30. So Orlan Olieri from the Montreal 93 Club near Paris. She really picks up the pace during the middle part of the race. Barnes sort of stumbled out of her blocks and then hesitated, it seemed. Olieri can't believe that she's got the win. Well, when we get the full results, we'll be able to see what the wind reading was. That was a good race, though, from the Frenchwoman in lane 5. Barnes never really recovered from a very poor first 20 metres, even though she was coming through strongly in that second half of the race. So there we have it. Olieri confirmed at 11.15. And a wind reading of 2.4 metres per second. So for record purposes, not valid, but nevertheless a good run from Olieri to beat two of the more highly favoured athletes in that race. That'll be, as I was saying, a big confidence boost for her. And here's the lineup for the second of the two field events this evening, the men's triple jump. This is a very compact programme, lasting just over 2 hours. It's action all the way. And this is a really, really good lineup, though. Only 6 men in that competition for the triple jump, but it's a very strong field. Coming up as well in just a few minutes' time, the men's 200 metres as well. We'll be seeing a few of the women in the 100 metres coming back into action later on. The women's 200 metres in just over an hour's time. 21:08 Rouen time. There's the start list for the triple jump. So, Shoes Fabrice Zango of Burkina Faso, reigning world champion and reigning world indoor champion. Although he's been overshadowed this year by the fantastic performances of Jordan Diaz of Spain. Amath Faye, recently second in the All-Africa Games, the Senegalese athlete, with a best of 16.61. Now the New Zealander, recent area under 20 record of 17.01 in South Africa in April. Christian Napoles stood on the podium at the last World Championships, got the bronze medal in Budapest last summer. Enzo Hodabao, second in the National Championships. He's got an anxious wait until Sunday night. He's 34th in the rankings at the moment, only 32 to go to Paris. If a couple of people drop out, he'll be on the way to Paris, but let's just wait and see. And then finishing off the lineup, Almar dos Santos, last year's Pan American Games silver medalist. Personal best dates back to 2018, though, dos Santos, who was the last man in the lineup. And the men's 200 metres. Well, Chetna Traore is a very, very interesting the NCAA Championships in 1995, having clocked a Ivory Coast Côte d'Ivoire record of 1993 in his semi. Penn State student. So from the outside, it's Arnaldo Romero, 24 years of age. Set his personal best recently, 2030, at high altitude in the Italian Alps in Sestriere. This is the European under-20 record holder and the current European under-23 champion over 200 metres. Blessing Afrifa from Israel, 1996 at best. Mauritius' Noah Bibi, 1 and 200 metres record holder. We'll see him again in action later on tonight. But he's also gone under 20 seconds at 2089 in his career. Wearing his university kit from Penn State. NCAA champion, Chetna Traore. Well, 2021 European under-23 bronze medalist, Paul Retamol from Spain. He looks as though he's going, subject to confirmation, to Paris on the ranking system. And the reigning European under-18 champion from 2 years ago in Jerusalem, the long-striding Dejanotu. On the inside, they filled these lanes from earlier contests, and Frigo and Bigorne, two men who've just gone inside 22 seconds, so probably not going to enter into the equation. But the original start list just had 6 men, and we had a 200 metres a little bit earlier, and they've been given a second outing. I'm sure the 2 men on the inside will benefit from this competition. So, keep your eyes on lanes 5 and 6. Traore and Bibi, the 2 Africans from Ivory Coast and Mauritius, respectively. This is the first European outing since he won his NCAA title for Chetna Traore. And Traore looking very, very strong around the bend. He's already closed over the first 80 metres on Bibi. Bibi just hanging on to his lead, but Traore now, not the smoothest of running styles, but he's pulling away. And on the outside, Romero having an excellent run indeed. 2041, 2.2 metres per second following wind. That was an impressive run. Wasn't as quick as some of his times on the US collegiate circuit in the last couple of months, but nevertheless, very impressive indeed from the Ivory Coast sprinter. 2041, and Romero, the Cuban, 2063. So these windy conditions. Frifa looking pensive as we look at the replay there. Traore, what a talent he is. Puts a lot of daylight between himself and the other 7 men in that race. So confirmation of the results with Chetna Traore of Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, winning in 2041, but at 2.2 metres per second following wind. Well, this has been an international meeting since the 1980s, the late 1980s. And has seen a really good standard of competition over the years, and some very impressive meeting records indeed. So the next action on the track comes up in about 10 minutes' time, the women's 1500 metres. See there both the pole vault and the triple jump taking place in front of the main stand. This can house about 5,500 people, this stadium. It's a little stand on the two bends as well. So I think we just saw Elise Roussis there, clearing a personal best of 440. The bar is at 440, adding 4 centimetres onto her best. Just see in the background Hodabar in the triple jump as well. So that was Alex Dehanane going clear as well. Nice overhead shot. You can see stands respectably full. It is a little bit overcast and breezy, as you saw. So, Christian Napoles. Napoles set his personal best of 17:40 in the 4th round of that World Championships final in Budapest. That was good enough to get him the bronze in the Hungarian capital. It's probably closer to 16 metres than 17 metres. He's a very muscular, strong athlete. So still using the old style method of the plasticine rather than the Hawkeye technique. Hawkeye technology, I should say. So that was a foul by Napoles. Zango got things underway with 16:57, and it was Ethan Olivier who followed him up with 16:26. So those are the two men who've got valid marks in the triple jump at the moment. So this is Enzo Hodabar. A decent jump there from the Frenchman. Probably in the mid-16s. Well, qualifying period for Paris ended on Sunday night. He has to wait until next Sunday to see whether he might have just sneaked in the back door. So said Hodabar, the man you've just seen in the triple jump, 34th on the rankings, but only 32 to go to Paris. So if one or two of those men in front of him on the rankings, for whatever reason, don't declare, or they're not selected, Hodabar could potentially still go to Paris. Now, the women's 1500 metres. So 12 women in this race. Quite a packed field. There we see on the outside Julia Jagusic. We're going to expect to make the pace. Being told to expect around 2:10 at the 800 metres. Martina Gallant, previously a European under-23 bronze medalist. Eleanor Fulton, now 32 years of age. Now this woman is a very exciting prospect. We've seen just very quickly Maria Kuru, third in the All-Africa Games. The Uruguayan record holder recently running 4:07.90. That is prodigious. Agauta Kaune, European under 20, 3,000 and 5,000 metre winner. Zoya Naumov of Spain has improved last year to 4:08.40. Katia Delarche, third in the national championships recently. And here's Chile's Josefa Quezada, who set a national record of 4:10.76 for Chile in Brussels. Bernice Fulcren, one of three French women on the inside of the track, including Alice Sagun, competes for another local club, the Rouen Normandie Athletisme Club, and on the inside, Adele Gay. .404.97, the meeting record. That's stood since 2013 to Malaika Akawi of Morocco. Well, there's a couple of women who've run faster than that in this field, but if that wind is gusting as it is, that might be a bit of a tall order. Nevertheless, it's Jagusic who's gone to the front as required. No hanging around from Mary Akiru either. Just 23 years of age, has really made a big breakthrough this year. I've spoken to a couple of coaches who've said, look out for her. She ran 4:05.91 at altitude, her personal best recently in the Kenyan trials, and finished third at the All-Africa Games. She won't be going to Paris, but I'm sure she'd quite like to make a statement here. So Jagusic, a very experienced pacemaker around the international circuit, 49.11. So nice pacemaking to start with from Jagusic. Bonvan. 4:40. Still Jagusik in front. Really good job from Jagusik, being followed by Fulton and Ekuru just behind her. That's 1:56. Well, it's at 700 meters. It's not the last lap. Timing giving you a bit of misinformation. Well, 2:12.44, so they're about 2.5 seconds outside of the required pace as Jagusik steps to one side. Now it's left to the rest of the runners to battle it out over the remaining 600 meters. Looking for 2:42.50 as they come into the home straight with 500 meters to go. That's the pace asked for. It's a little bit off that pace now. It's drifted back around the bend after Jagusik pulled out. About 7 seconds off the pace. Unofficially, from my estimate, around 2:49. So it's actually 1100 meters. Timer's having all sorts of problems, as I'm sure any experienced athletics fan will work out. But it's a good run from Eleanor Fulton up front. Didn't make it out of the heats at the Olympic trials last week. She's doing well here. It's Ekuru coming round, chasing her down now. There's the American Fulton away. Was a steeplechaser during her teenage years. And Ekuru, lot of life left in her legs. Kenyan's really blazing away. This is a superb run from the Kenyan. She's on course, I think, to smash her personal best. Fulton having a good run behind her, but it's going to be the Kenyan Ekuru. She's pulling away now, putting daylight with every stride. Just outside her personal best. 4:06.45, but an excellent run from Ekuru, which confirms what quite a few people who were in Nairobi watching those Kenyan trials and watching the All-Africa Games earlier this year in Accra said that this is a talent, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of Mary Ekuru in the near future. Just about half a second outside of her best in windy and difficult conditions. So a superb run from her. Fulton coming home 4:07.42. Gallant 4:10.56. And a personal best by a couple of, well, exactly 100th for Bernice Fulcheron, the Frenchwoman, in fourth. So good run from her. Fernandez as well, only a few seconds outside her national record in challenging conditions. So all credit to Mary Ekuru for that excellent run from her. And she timed it just perfectly, overhauling Fulton coming into the last bend and then pulling away from the American. The pace dropped a little bit on that third lap, which is always the issue. They'd been able to stay closer to the required 2:42.50 in that 200 meters between 800 and 1,000 meters, and then round to the bell they might have got closer to 4:05 or below that. But Mary Ekuru takes the win in 4:06.45. Eleanor Fulton 4:07.42. Agauta County. Well, 1,500 meters is a bit of a sprint Vercauna is more used to 3,000 and 5,000 metre running. And a superb talent. We saw her in action last year at the European Under-20s when she won 2 superb titles in Jerusalem. So the triple jump. Is Zango. That's around the 17 metre mark. He's looking a bit rueful. His hand went back there. I think he lost a few centimetres there when his hand just slipped back there, as you can see. Had to steady himself. That was 16.94, albeit very, very wind assisted. One of the oldest meeting records on the books here at Sotteville Level 1 is in the men's triple jump, 1993 from Denis Kapustin. Dordain just going through her warm-up, run-up routine. There's Christian Napoles trying to keep warm. It's ostensibly about 16 degrees out there, but with that wind, it's a little bit breezy and a bit chilly. Wind chill factor taking effect as the officials and volunteers move the hurdles onto the track for the 110 metres hurdles coming up very shortly in about 9 minutes time. There's Marie-Julie Bonin getting some input from a coach. European Under-23 champion last year. Her 4:53 is good enough to see her through on the ranking system. So while we've got a moment, I'll explain what I'm talking about in terms of qualification for the Paris Olympics. Of course, there's qualifying marks, and if you get your qualifying mark and then are also selected for your national team, you go through. National team selection being paramount. But then in each event, there's a certain amount of competitors required, and in the women's pole vault it's 32. And if the standard hasn't been met, then it's filled up to that mark with the number of people on the ranking system. Qualifying as such closed on Sunday night, but this coming Sunday the full list of entries will be published. Just waiting for teams to announce their selections, and in the case of the rankings, it may well be that some people don't take up their place. Perhaps they're injured and they're still able to qualify as a result of the rankings but unable to go. See there, we look there at Boulon just before her third attempt, her 440, as you can see on the infield scoreboard. But this is Christian Napoles, failed his first attempt. As mentioned, World Championship bronze medalist. That's on the board, that's good. Well, it's valid anyway. Perhaps would have liked a bit better, just over 16 metres. Napoles has been really quite struggling to find his form this year. Doesn't quite have the same zip that we saw last summer, to be fair. So Louise Boulon departs from this competition. 3 failures at 440. Dordain as well. Do or die time for her, the French woman. Dordain, 5th in the national championships. She's been over this height on a couple of occasions in her career. Has a best of 446. Dordain from the Stade Bordelais club. Oh, just brings it down and gets the red flag. So we have 4 women who have cleared this height. Dehanane, Bonin, McTaggart and Leon. Kennedy hasn't come in yet. We've got a couple more to attempt this height as well, including Avris and Roussis. Need to be Elise Roussis up next. There's Dos Santos, 1663 in the first round. Jump from him. Men's triple jump, still led by Hughes Fabrice with that 1694. Don't think that's going to be as far as that. But, gets plenty of applause from the crowd. He's shaking his head though, not very happy. Well, they've got a very strong following wind on their back. Sengo's event leader so far had more than 4 meters per second on his back. Good plan. 1685, and it's a legal effort as well. So the best legal effort we've seen in this competition, but still very early stages. They're just finishing off the second round. So this is Roussis. This would be a personal best for the local athlete. .420 the first time of asking. Oh, she was very close indeed. Well, just moved away from the bar, but she had plenty of height there, but just couldn't get her torso away from the bar quickly enough. We'll be back very shortly with the pole vault and the triple jump as it progresses. But now it's the men's 110 metres hurdles final. There's the full lineup. So on the inside, it's Jeremy Laradesius of Mauritius. Mauritian record holder with 13.54. Also competes for the Nantes Metropole Club. Cuba's Roger Irabane. Had one outing already, decided to have a go in the B final earlier. Clock 13.60, wind assisted, has a personal best of 13.21. Romain Lecoeur, third in the national championships at the weekend. And another man who has already had one outing, 13.23 earlier, and that was wind assisted. And he's a local athlete, hence the cheers. Competes for Stade Sotteville's 76. Michael Dixon, fastest man in this field, 13.19 in the semi-finals of the US Olympic trials. Finished 7th with 13.21. Former European indoor champion over 60 metres hurdles, better known for his feats in indoors, but the Cypriot record holder Milan Traskovic, now 32 years of age. Erwin Sinner, second at the national championships. Here's the Senegalese record holder. Commentated on a few of his races last year. Louis-Francois Mendy, France base for the Vosges Anton Club, 13.18 at best. And on the outside, Mathieu Ngo, 6th in the French national championships. His personal best of 13.17. So that meeting record, 13.18. Daylon Robers has been on the books since 2013. From the inside, Laradesius, Irabane, Lecoeur, Dixon, Traskovic, Sinner, Mendy and Ngo. The informed Michael Dixon running in lane 4. Keep an eye on the American, now 27 years of age. Dixon is indeed away the quickest, but also coming up in his outside, starting very well as well. Traskovic, and Dixon losing his way, storming away though. Lecoeur running an absolutely fabulous race. Oh, tragedy for Mendy though. Oh, that was a race of a lot of drama. Well, Lecoeur thinks he's got a personal best, but the wind reading 2.4 meters per second, but it is still the fastest he's ever run under any conditions. Had a good run earlier and confirmed his form here. Irabane run out of it as well. We're expecting to see something from the Cuban. Congratulations from everyone else. So Lecoeur 13.20, Irabane 13.43, coming through strongly as well over the second half of the race. Traskovic was very much in contention for the win over the first 5 hurdles, but finishes third in 13.44. Well, there's plenty happening in that 110 metres hurdles race. But a crowd-pleasing home win and a local win for Romain Lecoeur. Dixon lost his way after the third hurdle at this stage, and that was almost the cue for Romain Lecoeur to start pulling away. Mendy was in second place at the moment, but oh dear, got himself wrapped around that last barrier. Oh, very much a coming man. Well, I hope Mendy isn't seriously injured. I think he's just exasperated with the situation, and volunteers and medical staff take him away for a checkup. Kerr, now 26 years of age. Good run of form recently, culminating with that third place in the National Championships. Did go to the European Championships in Rome earlier last month, but a little bit disappointing. Third in his semi-finals, but didn't go through to the final. I think he was hoping for a place in the final. And of course, French hurdling in great shape at the moment. Nearly getting skewered by one of the pole vaulters there as the hurdlers leave the field of play. A good and attentive crowd here in the Stade Municipal Jean Adet. There we can see Nina Kennedy, the long shot, keeping warm this early stage in the competition. The Australian reigning world champion. So Marie-Julie Bonin straight over 440. Now first time attempt at 450. As I said, has a personal best. We've been expecting her, just been waiting for her to go higher. Set that personal best of 455 at the European Championships and has gone on to win the European Under-23 title last year. With 448 to win the French title at the weekend. Make it out to qualifying though, only had 440 at the European Championships this time around. Though did get 6th in Munich 2 years ago. Was visibly very disappointed at not making the final in Rome a couple of weeks ago. Currently France's undisputed #1 vaulter. Poor effort, didn't have the height there. Season's best, or yearly best I should say, came indoors at 453. That was an indoor best, but hasn't matched that outdoors just yet. A bit disappointing. So Dos Santos 1685 in the last round. Still in second place. We didn't see it, but huge Zango 1678 earlier in this third round. This brings the third round to a conclusion. So are we going to see a 17-meter jump here? And the wind just dropped for him with that 1685 jump. Everything else has been more or less wind assisted, including Zango's 3 jumps. Lots to spare on the board. Good hang technique. More or less where his second round effort finished. He's really started to come back into form in the last 18 months after several years of indifferent form, having made his big breakthrough in 2018. Ooh, we don't know it yet, but some gasps have gone up from the crowd. Good upright, steady, good control technique as well, all the way through those 3 phases. No improvement for Dos Santos. 16.84. Just 1 centimetre shy of his best in this competition from the previous round. The men's 800 metres final. Eleven men squeezed onto the bend. Well, we've got 5 men who've run under 1:45 in their careers in this race, and 3 who've done it this season. On the outside, it's Ludovic Lemur, Marseille athlete, perhaps one of the outsiders in this race. Alongside him, fastest man this year, Abdelati El Guess, Moroccan, World University Games silver medalist. Now, the 22-year-old Edmond Duplessis. This man's had a real breakthrough year this year, and just 2 weeks ago ran a personal best of 1:44.49 in Madrid. Mohamed Zahafi, well, finished just 1 place behind Duplessis in Madrid. Former European indoor champion Alvaro de Arriba, only 5th in the national championships though for Spain. He went to the European outdoor championships but won't be going to the Olympic Games. Anisette Kozar of the Strasbourg club improved to 1:45.54 in Tomblaine in May. There's the 2 men in the lane 3. Collins Kipruto, well, back in 2021 ran 1:43.95. Hasn't been really close to that sort of form this year. And Thomas Marquez d'Andrade, 3rd in the European Under-20 Championships last year in Jerusalem. On the inside, Louis Ouellet, 5th in the national championships and 5th in the European Under-20 Championships in Jerusalem last year. Set his personal best in Angers though last weekend, so a man in form. And then on the inside, Thierry Thévenet and Youssef Benzemia. Well, the wind is keeping the times down a little bit. That's quite a soft meet record of Antoine Gacames from 2015. 1:44.93 with the calibre of athletes we've got here. Pace has been asked for is 50.53, so let's see if they can get close to that. There's Thévenet trying to find his way through. Lemur on the outside though, coming across. Collins Kipruto showing well at this stage as well. All very bunched together. Well, it's the tall figure of Lemur, who at this stage is taking the pace. 1:46 man. And everyone else now strung out behind them more or less, so it's a good pace that's been set by Lemur. And Lemur looking around, wondering where everyone else is, because there's about 4 meters between them. But he's done his job admirably. 50.41. Just 9 hundredths inside the required pace. And Lemur's still up there. He's looking around, trying to find out where they are. Looking for them. It's Duplessis who's coming through, chasing him down now. Lemur moves to the side with just over 200 meters to go. And Duplessis now starting to accelerate. But it's Zahafi as well, doing a good job chasing him. There's still a lot of men in this race. Kozar still in it as well. But Duplessis gritting his teeth and trying to come away. He's really battling hard, the man. They're closing down on him quickly, but it's going to be victory for the South African. Edmond Duplessis, 1:45.73. Well, they went through in 41, so a good pace being set. But as always, it was that critical third quarter of the 800 metres that saw the pace just drop a little bit. And to be honest, the runners, they didn't stay on the pace. They didn't stay on the shoulder of Lemieux, but Duplessis takes the win, 1:45.72, followed home by Abdelati El Ghous, 1:45.94. So Duplessis will be representing his country in Paris, which is almost exactly 130 kilometres from here to the Stade de France. I think he's staying in Europe until Paris, because we'll move into national team training camp closer to the time. Two-time national champion confirms his improving form with a good outing in Sotteville-le-Rouen. As well, the Moroccan in second also will be on the start line in Paris. And this is down the home straight. El Ghous closing, but Duplessis still had enough in the tank, despite tiring over the final 50 metres, to hold off the fast-finishing Moroccan. Alvaro de Arriba. In this sort of race, it's really made for the finishing de Arriba, but he still had too much to do over the final 100 metres as the plaudits go to Duplessis of South Africa. So far, 4 women over 450. Kennedy Bonin got over it at the second time of asking, but Taggart and Leon. But now we're on to third attempts in the women's pole vault. Elise Roussis, I can see the very end of the runway, ready to take her third attempt. But what would be a personal best, but no. Not going to be. Nevertheless, Roussis got over 440 at the third time of asking. So good competition from Roussis. So the officials steady the bar. Going to be the turn of Henane. Just had to look down on my score sheet. He doesn't come from very far away, comes from Lille. He's third in the national championships. The third and last attempt for de Henane. Never quite there, never committed. So Dehanane not far short of a personal best of 5:53 set recently. So we've got 7 women in the women's 200 metres. Lane 2 is empty. Should have seen Estelle Rafai there. So on the outside, we've already seen her in action. Angela Tenorio. She was 3rd in the 100 metres earlier. Olivia Fotopoulou. Fotopoulou, Cyprus's #1 sprinter. Bianca Williams, fastest woman in this field with 22:45 a couple of years ago, but this year close to 22 seconds, 23:14. Mamadou Kone, fastest woman this year, 22:88. The stalwart of the very quick Ivory Coast relay teams. Well, we skipped over Ngoy Akambeni. We saw Maroussa Paré, 4th in the national championships over 100 and 200 metres. Likely to be part of the French relay squads in Paris. And then on the inside, Marie-Ange Rimlinger, better known as 100-metre runner. Rimlinger finishing in 5th place in the 100 metres. So as they settle into the blocks from the inside in the women's 200 metres, Rimlinger, and then in lane 3, Paré, Ngoy Akamabe, Kone, Williams, Fotopoulou and Tenorio. It looks as though Williams got away very quickly. So too did the women outsider. Tenorio running well as well at this stage. But it's Kone at the moment. Kone coming through very strongly as well down the home straight. Good bend from Kone, and now she's starting to pull away from the rest of the field. Abundu Kone takes the win for the Ivory Coast. And a big smile from her. Well, based in Paris, competes for the famous Stade Français club. 22:95 for her. A good run in these conditions, just waiting for the wind reading. Paré came through strongly as well. Just outside her personal best, but a season's best for Paré. 600ths outside her personal best. But let's just wait and see what the wind reading is. And Williams, after a good start, couldn't sustain her surge over the first 50 metres and started to look just a little bit leaden down the home straight, but still hung on for 3rd place. Good run from Kone. Looking at it again. Yes, the 2 women in orange, Williams and Kone, very quickly away, nicely done. Then down the home straight, it was Kone who pulls away from the rest of the field for quite a convincing win. Looking very strong. She'll be going to Paris, and of course Ivory Coast have a strong and well drilled 4x100 metres team as well. Mabundu Kone, 22:95, the only one under 23 seconds, takes the win in the women's 200 metres. The pole vault and the triple jump still carry on. Is Zango still in the lead. Now, is that over 17 metres? He was absolutely spot on the board, wasn't he? 17:36 for Zango. A really good effort from him. Wind assisted still, otherwise that would have been a meeting record. Not always an advantage for the jumpers. It can sometimes play havoc with your run-ups, although of course it can blow you to big distances as well. So it's a bit of a mixed blessing, a strong wind on your back. Olivier. Taking his time, just preparing himself. Composing himself, the young New Zealander. Fourth at the World Under-20 Championships in Nairobi 2 years ago. Oh, good jump from the New Zealander as well. Hasn't broken 10-11 seconds for the... Oh, and it couldn't get any tighter on the board. Good sequence there. So the fifth round effort from Ethan Olivier. Look at that, 7.5 meters per second on his back with that 1696, so literally blown almost to the 17-meter mark. It's swirling and it's very, very breezy indeed down on the surface. Now, staying in the southern hemisphere, we go from New Zealand to Australia. Nina Kennedy, straight over 450 at the first time of asking. Shared the world title in Budapest last August with Katie Moon from the United States. Oh, nicely done. The camera switched away. I thought it was actually a clearance, but she did bring the bar down. My apologies. There were two more attempts for Kennedy. So now Olivia McTaggart, New Zealander, goes to a marks, but we also now have the 400 metres para-athletes mixed race. Had a few Paralympic events in the domestic, the national programme a bit earlier. So from the outside we had Kerrion Malcost, Evan Tebo, Alice Matthijs. So we've got several women in here. Amadou Bayero. TZ de Vatas. Sasha Barrios. And on the inside, another female competitor, Celia Turkey. Of course, following on from the Olympic Games, there'll be the Paralympics as well, staged in Paris. But if the French public embrace them like they did in London in 2012, then there will be full stadiums. Some of these athletes, no doubt, will be going to Paris for the Paralympics. So as said, this is a mixed men's and women's event, 400 metres. Going very well at this stage is Hamadou Bayero. Bayero in lane 5, having a really good run at this stage. Being chased down by De Vitas on his inside though. This is a classy run from Bayero. But Vitas closing him down. And Bayero, well, Bayero's just pulled up. It looks as though he was running 300 metres. But Vitas is carrying on. And Vitas a convincing winner. Coming through in lane 3 was Sasha Barrios for second place. De Vitas. Very strong performance from De Vitas.
mètres 22, cela comporte 17 mètres 31 pour Hugues Fabrice Sango, mais attention, le concours n'est pas terminé, il reste encore des sérieux concurrents qui sont à la limite des 17 mètres. À commencer par le Sénégalais Faye, qui est en bout de piste.
So we've just got about an hour still remaining as we look at the highlights of that Paralympian 400 metres. And Thierry De Vitas coming home very strongly to win. Remaining events on the track, the women's 800 metres, the women's 100 metres hurdles, and then two men's events to finish off the evening here in Sotteville, Rouen. 1500 metres for men and 100 metres for men as well. So Kevin De Vitas 50-80 to take the win. We're in the last round of the triple jump. Now this is Marie-Julie Bonin attempting 460, and that's a personal best for the Frenchwoman. That came at the second time of asking for Marie-Julie Bonin. Gabriella Leon as well. On the runway now, Nina Kennedy. So she's seen two of her rivals in Sotteville-le-Rouen go over 4.60 meters, including a personal best for the French woman. Looking very composed and now accelerating well into the run-up. Plants and pivots. Nice effort from the reigning world champion. So no surprises on the basis of failures earlier in the competition. She goes into, if you'll pardon the overused pun, pole position. So Olivia McTaggart now. Look at Kennedy, just wrapping that towel around her, just trying to keep warm in these very breezy, windy conditions. Taggart brings the bar down for a second time, or I should say a third time. Ottabar. Ottabar at the moment is down in 4th place with a best of 16.75. That came in the last round, albeit aided by a 2.7 meters per second wind. Needs to improve by 10 centimeters to get up into 3rd place, and the podium positions, Almir dos Santos occupying that at the moment. Was that a foul? Let's have a look very closely. It looked very tight to the board, tight to the plasticine. Yes, indeed, it was given as a foul. And by quite some margin when we look at it close up. Yes, the naked eye at quite a distance, a bit more difficult to see. So he stays in 4th place at the moment. Drifting quite seriously over to the left-hand side, Ottabar. So we have a very intriguing, very good women's 800 meters coming up. 10 women. Keep an eye on the lanes 6 and 7. Daily Cooper Gaspar, the Cuban, has gone under 1:49 this year, and Laura Hoffman has gone under 2 minutes this year. This could be a very competitive race indeed. Been asked for 58 seconds. As far as going through 1 lap's concerned. So this is on the outside, Eugenie Morel in lane 7, Clara Lieberman of France, and the former European indoor champion Laura Hoffman. Fastest woman in the field on this year's times, recently improved to 1:58.61. Smiling Cuban, Daily Cooper Gaspar. Alexandra Bell, the experienced British international, hasn't gone under, I say hasn't, so I was just about to say hasn't gone under 2 minutes, but just squeezed under it recently. 1:59.55 is Anita Horvat. Slovenian record holder over 400 metres, but transitioned a couple of years ago up to 800 metres. Agnes Rahula Raleigh and Shakina Haj. Rahula Raleigh from the Nantes club and Hadji of Morocco. South Africa's Chance Vaart. And on the inside, Kimberly Fikonec of the Czech Republic. Tall Czech runner. So we're expecting Morel to make the pace. Woman out in lane 8. But it's very, very close on times as far as the rest of the competitors are concerned. This could be a right old battle. Morel not getting across to the centre of the track. It's Cooper. Cooper is showing extremely well at this stage. Now Morel gone through a gear and trying to get across the track. Slowly making her way to the front, the scribe pacemaker, and Cooper tucking in behind her. And Cooper leading the pack at the moment, no, but it looks as though it's Rahula Raleigh coming through on the inside. Should say Hachi. Laura Hoffman coming up on the outside as well. Morel doesn't have a bib on the front. Indicates she's the pacemaker. Done a good job of pacemaking here. Like before, looking around. 58.91. The rest of the field a few metres further back. Didn't want to sit right on her heels. And it's Vaart now, followed by Cooper, followed by Hoffman. So as Morel, the pacemaker, steps to one side, now the racing really begins. It's the South African Vaart at the front. And she's looking for a quick time, but Cooper now starting to come around her. Just over 200 metres to go. Now the Cuban really going through the gears. A superb run from Diley Cooper. Vaart still in second place at the moment, hanging on with gritted teeth. Vaart struggling now, but it's Cooper coming away down the home straight, having a really good run, heading for the line. 1:59.51. Less than half a second outside the meeting record that has stood to Ethiopia's Habitu Alemu for more than a decade, 12 years since 2012. So that really was an excellent run from Diley Cooper Gaspar. Cooper looking very authoritative in that race. Here we have it again from the start, and there's the final 30 or 40 metres. Nice run from the Cuban. Confirmation of the times. Cooper Gaspar, 1:59.50. Coming through very strongly, Lieberman. Personal best for Lieberman. Taking 1500ths off her best. Now, Bonin. Tempting 470 now. Bonin, the bar's going up. Unbelievable. That's a huge performance from Marie-Julie Bonin. Absolutely delighted with it, the reigning European Under-23 champion. Just clips it with her knee going up. The bar wobbles. I said 470, 465. I'm looking at my monitor which says 470, but it is just 465. Tell you that Kennedy is passing, so too is Gabriella Leon. Bonin was the only woman to attack that height. But Taggart went out after 3 failures at 460, so just 3 women in the competition now. But it is Bonin who leads with that 465 clearance, followed by Kennedy and Leon with 460, both of those women passing at 465. Up next will be Bonin, the first to attempt 470. So the last event for women on the track will be coming up just very shortly, in about 7 minutes time, and the barriers are being prepared for the women's 100 meters hurdles. Men's triple jump is just coming to a conclusion. Still being led by Hugh Sango with 17:38. See there in the background. Well, it's been a difficult competition for the triple jumpers with those really strong gusting winds. As I say, at one point reaching 7 meters per second. Judges just holding up Bonin. Bonin getting a few minutes to recover. So just a reminder that we do have plenty of other presentations and European athletics live streams coming up in the very near future. Highlight of this month's live streams will be the European Under-18 Championships coming to you from Banska Bystrica in Slovakia, and you'll see every moment via the European Athletics website between July the 18th to the 21st, and that'll be a terrific competition. It really is a look into the crystal ball of the future of European and indeed global athletics. It'll be the 4th edition, and I've been lucky enough to attend the previous 3 and see the likes of Keely Hodgkinson or Jaroslava Mahuchik coming through, and a few talents like Niels Laros as well. This is the very last attempt in the triple jump. Huge Fabrice Zango around the 17-meter mark. Spot on the board. He certainly is going to be in contention for medals in Paris, but as I said, we're still getting over that phenomenal triple jump competition in Rome. 17:38, so improved by 2 centimeters. All of his attempts wind assisted though, but nevertheless can't do anything about those conditions, and he takes control and takes advantage of the breeze on his back to bound out to 17:38 to win this competition. He already had it won, but he improved his advantage over the best of the rest with his very last jump. Marie-Julie Bonin given additional time to recover after being the only person to attempt and also clear 465. see there, had failures of 450 and 460. She's actually cleared 2 successive personal bests here in Sotteville-le-Rouen. Showing good form going into the Olympic Games. Probably have another competition or 2 coming up. I haven't looked at the programme, but we've also got Diamond League meetings coming up in France. We've got Paris this coming Sunday and Monaco in 2 Sundays' time. I'll have to have a look and see whether the women's pole vault's on those competition programme, but certainly Bonine. Oh! What a superb effort again. 3 successive personal bests for Bonine. A superb performance, really making up for that disaster she had in Rome, not getting out of qualifying. She's tears of delight. She can't believe it, but she's been so focused throughout this competition. Well, for my money, so far, the athlete of this meeting, well, she rattled the bar. Hug there from Olivia McTaggart. Good friends with the New Zealander. Still 2 more women in this competition as well. They'll have first attempts. Gabriella Leon and Nina Kennedy. And both of them know what it's like to go over this high. But we now have the women's 100 metres hurdles final. We've got a plethora of national record holders in this field. Looking on the inside there, but Natalia Christofi, the Cypriot record holder, last year went under 13 seconds several times and has a best of 12.84. Not quite there this year. Laura Valette competes for the Nantes club. It's gone under 13 seconds this year with 12.92. Now the Colombian record holder, Yolvane Mota, improved recently to 12.67. This is Maribel Caicedo. Super quick time of 12.49, a South American record recently, the Ecuadorian. Tali Bonds, also in excellent form recently, 12.66, season's best in the US trials. Letitia Bapta, he's the US Robert Club. Chiara Camasi, the Italian. And on the outside, Sidone Fidanzarina Noah of Madagascar. And a lot of women who are in very good form here, most of which have set personal bests or been very close to them this year. Well, the meeting record, Toby Amundsen in 2022. Before she went on to break the world record at the World Championships in Eugene.
On your mark.
So from the inside, Christofi, Cyprus, Valette, France, Mota, Colombia, Caicedo, Ecuador, Bonds, USA, Bapt of France, Camasi of Italy, and Fidantanansoa of Madagascar. It's looking as though it's Bonds away quickly. Also, Bapta doing well at this stage. Oh, the Madagascans ploughed out. Also hitting hurdles was Casado. Looks as though it's Bonds who took the victory there. 2.8 meters per second following win, but a good win in 12.78 for Tally Bonds. Gets the medal hung around her neck. A good win there. Komasi in second, 12.82. Bapta, who did so well, very close to her season's best as well. Bapta in third place. Head-on shot here, and it's a real battle between Bonds and Bapta, but Komasi comes up very quickly in lane 7 just to pit Bapta for second place. Really did all come down to the last couple of meters as far as second and third place is concerned, but Bonds ran a superb race and was ahead from the early stages, just holding off her rivals. Time revised to 12.77 for Tally Bonds. Komasi 12.82, Bapta 12.86. Saw there Casado, South American record holder. I think it was around the 6th hurdle. Now Nina Kennedy, 4.70 for the Australian. Comfortably over, bags of daylight. She'll be very happy with that vault. .470, straight over as was Bonin. Just checking on the scorecard though. Leon's had 2 failures now, so that Nina Kennedy effort was recorded from just a few moments ago. Now the men's 1500 meters final. Really intriguing race this. 17 men squeezed onto the track. Perhaps a little bit too many. I think probably the optimum number is about 13, 14. Nevertheless, take what you're given. There's Cam Myers. A lot of attention on this young Australian. Now the winds out there might just mitigate against fast times, but it looks as though this is going to be a very intriguing race indeed. Seen. They'll be looking across the track perhaps. Well, they'll be obviously focusing on their own race, but well aware that Nina Kennedy's in action in the women's pole vault. One remaining field event in action. Just saw there Elliot Cook, 3:38, 3:33.84 man. So just to give you the full lineup, doesn't look like we're going to have the individual presentations. do have 17 men in this race. On the inside, Mehdi Kadri and Vanis Achoud, who are going to be the pacemakers from France. Thomas Palfrey from Australia. Martin de Schmidt of France. Alexandre Sellez. Sellez from France, from the Franconville Club. Quentin Tisson of France. Paul Moyer, Andorra, the Andorran record holder. Jack Anstey of Australia. Paul Anselmini, better known as 800-metre runner. There's the full lineup. Anselmini also from the Franconville Club. Etienne Dagunos from Talence. Hajid Rikash. Benoit Campion and Baptiste Michler, two very well-known athletes, also medal winners for France in team competitions at the European cross-country championships. And after all that, we are getting an individual presentation, so we'll go with it. Julian Rank from the Metz Metropole Club, Adam Shavinsky. He's inside Cam Myers and Elliot Cook. Wondering where he got that Australia kit from then, because as he rightly points out, he is American. Oh, that's a little mystery we hope we solve. Michler, Benoit Campion, Risquet. Now, many of the first of, not first, but one of the many Frenchmen, Dagunos, personal best of 3:40, and Salmini, enjoying his moments in the spotlight. Jack Anstey of Australia. Well, Paul Moyer might be a little bit upset about that, because even though he's wearing the Barcelona vest, it's got Spain on his bib, but he actually represents Andorra internationally. Andorran record holder. Tissot, Sellez, de Schmidt, Palfrey, and then Achoud and Kadri. You do expect Achoud and Kadri to make the pace. Well, meet record of 3:34.31 from last year from Mafori Mafalali of South Africa. No South Africans in the race though this year. Just sorting themselves out. It is Kadri and Achoud who get themselves to the front to try and make the pace. Tucking in behind them, Elliot Cook, the American. So 41.5 unofficially through the first 300 metres. Decent pace. So it's still Cook in third place, leading the main protagonists. 55.81 at 400 metres. Good pacemaking at the moment, and it's really stretched the field out. It's Cook at the front. Risquet just behind him, and then Moyer of Andorra. Myers well back in the pack at the moment. They're looking around. Just coming up to the 700 metre mark, 1:39.7. Well, after the confusion caused in the women's 1500 metres, the timers seem to have got it right this time. 1:54.21. So about 7/10 outside of the pace required. The meeting organisers asked for 1:53.50. That's excusable under these conditions. And it's Cook still tracking now Kadri, the pacemaker. Adjude stepping to one side with Risquet on his shoulder. Just coming round now. 500 metres to go now. 2:25.15 at 1,000 metres. So it's about 2.5 seconds outside of the required pace. But now they're into the final lap. And Cam Myers has moved up. He's into third place at the moment. He's very, very talented Australian who many people are looking for. Myers only just turned 18 years of age last month. 3:33 man. Expected to see him maybe contend for the medals at the World Under-20 Championships in Lima at the end of August. Now Cam Myers slipping around, moving up onto the shoulder of the leader now. Myers starting to really pull away. Myers going through the gears. This has been an excellent run from the young Australian with 100 metres to go. Well, it's not going to be any meeting record, but he's running superbly well and now starting to put about 10 metres between himself and the rest of the field. 3:36.32. 56.69 last lap for Myers. Well, that really was an excellent run out for the young Australian. Would have liked to have run quicker, but the conditions were far from ideal. He looks as though he just gets his breath back. Quite pleased with himself. Ritzy 3:37.27. Degunos, who led for part of that last lap, 3:37.44 as he's just drifting back, but gets a personal best, the first Frenchman home. Elliot Cook drifting back quite a long way after showing well in the first 1,000 metres. But Myers winning by just under a second from Hafid Ritzy. Looking majestic over the final 80 or 90 metres as he starts to stride out and put a big distance between himself and the rest of the field. There's the leading results. Cameron Myers 3:36.31. Hafid Ritzy 3:37.27, so almost a second between first and second. Etienne Degunos getting a personal best in third place. 4:75. Kennedy's over at the first time of asking. We've just seen one Australian victory. Kennedy laying down the gauntlet to Marie-Julie Bodine. Could well be a second Australian victory in the women's pole vault, coming straight after the men's 1500 metres. Looking very determined, strong and gymnastic, great vaulting, lots of height, lots of daylight between herself and the bar. Pole vault's already provided some highlights for the French crowd in the stands at the Stade Municipal Jean Adret. 3 personal bests for Marie-Julie Bodine. Superb performance from the Frenchwoman. Just one event left on the track now, the men's 100 metres. There's the full consolidated results. Dagunos third with 3:37.44. My apologies, I said he was a 3:38 performance. Elliot Cook slipping back 3:37.61. Nady Kadri, after being deployed as a pacemaker, comes home, takes a second off his personal best, hanging on in the race there. There's Marie-Julie Bonin. Had a first time failure at 4:75. So, Marie-Julie Bonin, second attempt at 4:75. The infield announcer getting the crowd behind Marie-Julie Bonin. This would equal the French record by Ninon Chapelle, set back in 2018. So Bonin planting, no. I just wonder, after three personal bests, and given her reaction, those tears of joy when she cleared 4:70, whether she's spent emotionally now. But she does have one more attempt at this height. Bonin has 3 minutes to compose herself. Last event coming up on the track in a few minutes, just will be the men's 100 metres. Well, we missed Noah Bibi, who was in the 200 metres earlier, and we've also lost Dorothy. Just 6 men in this race then. So there's been an draw if you were looking at the website earlier. This is Gambia's Ibrahima Kamara. William Agwese. Oh, this is Ibrahima Kamara, sorry, this is from Gambia. Emmanuel Eseme, Cameroon record holder with 9.96 last year. He's gone close to it with 10.01 this year. He'll be off to the Olympics representing his country. And we skip a lane. Remember Makal Zeze, 9.99 man last year. Already ran this evening. Ran in the B race, got a warm up there, 10.22 windy. And then Paul Lada. So a slightly depleted field, just 6 men in. And certainly the overwhelming favourite has to be Emmanuel Eseme, the Cameroonian, in lane 4.
On your marks.
So from the inside, lane 1, Kamara, 2, Agwese, Lane 3, Ibrahima Kamara. Lane 4, Emmanuel Esame. Then lane 6, Mebe Michael Zeze of France, and alongside him Paul Larder of France as well. The men's 100 metres final, the last event of this Sotteville-Le Rayon meeting. And as expected, Esame is away very quickly. So too is Kamara on his inside though. Esame has got a bit of ground to make up, but now the long legs get moving. And Esame comes through for a victory. 10-10. Big, strong, France-based Cameroonian. He knows this track so well. It's to the Sotteville 76 club. Now back to Marie-Julie Bonin. Oh! Third time failure at 4:75 for Marie-Julie Bonin. But what a night for her. 3 successive personal bests with clearances at 4:60, 4:65 and 4:70. And there's another man who's very pleased with his evening's work. Emmanuel Esame. Time revised to 10:11. Ibrahima Kamara of Guinea, 10:25. And Michael Mebe Zeze. Got that the wrong way round. Mebe Michael Zeze, third in 10:32. As we look at the race again, as Mr. Esame is being interviewed on the infield, in the end a comfortable win, but had to work hard for it, certainly over the first half of the race, challenged by Ibrahima Kamara on his inside, but pulls away very comfortably over the final third of the race. And he's well known and well liked in this stadium. Confirmed results: Emmanuel Esame 10:11, Ibrahima Kamara 10:25, Mebe Michael Zeze 10:32, and the wind just drops to a legal limit, 2.0 meters per second, absolutely on the margin, but nevertheless those times will stand as valid for, if not record purposes, then certainly statistical purposes. Still got Nina Kennedy in the pole vault, the only woman left in the competition. Slamy takes congratulations. Might well be his coach. Well, they're just sorting themselves out. I think they're trying to usher him over to some form of victory presentation. As I say, we've still got Nina Kennedy in action in the pole vault. They're having a quiet word with Marie-Julie Bonin. What a night it's been for her, the young Frenchwoman. Well, that mark of 4:70 doesn't really tell the story because she had 3 personal bests. Now 22 years of age, from the Stade Bordelais club and the reigning European under-23 champion. Was distraught after crashing out, only clearing 4:40 in Rome. has really got some form of compensation for it tonight. Big hugs from Olivia McTaggart as well. They're good friends, I know that, from the international circuit. Well, Nina Kennedy, as the last person in the pole vault, gets 5 minutes to prepare herself. A bit of a hiatus. She's had the bar, I can tell you, puts up to 4 meters 85. Well, Kennedy, that would be a season's best for her. A personal best of 491, which she jumped indoors in Zurich last year, although of course that was at the Diamond League, indoors at the so it brings the bar down at the first time of asking at 485. So was the in the Diamond League in the Zurich railway station, the Hauptbahnhof, that famous Weltklasse meeting last August. So 2 more attempts at 485 for Nina Kennedy, the very last woman in action here, as the floodlights go on. We're just coming up to sundown, which is scheduled for 21:35 in this part of France. Part Falter for determination, had the height but just couldn't get away from the bar. Just took it off with a torso going over the bar. So the height's there, that's for sure. Just a reminder that there are more European Athletics live streams coming from the World Athletics Continental Tour coming up in the coming days. So on Saturday we've got the Fast 5,000 metres, a silver meeting that comes from Paris, and then on Sunday we have the Monday we've got the Cork City Sports, a bronze meeting coming to you from Ireland. And then, as I say, very much the highlight of the June programming for the European Athletics live streams, and it's available on our YouTube platform as well as the Eurovision Sport platform. The European Under-18 Championships coming to you from Banska Bystrica in Slovakia between July the 18th to the 21st. See all the details of the European Athletics live streams, plus gateways to all the social media channels on the European Athletics website, www.european-athletics.com. And if you go to the YouTube channel, well, there's replays of most of the World Athletics Continental Tour meetings that come under European Athletics auspices, the silver and bronze meetings, they're up there. Bags of content as well from the European Athletics Championships in Rome. Not just race replays, but behind the scenes content and interviews with athletes as well. So, Nina Kennedy stripped off and ready for action for her second attempt at 4 meters 85. And the crowd is right behind her. So Kennedy looking for a season's best. World lead was that recent British record of 4:92 by Molly Caudry, the world indoor champion. No, not quite. Not quite as good as her first attempt. That was a question of not quite having the height on her first attempt. The height was there. It was just that she couldn't pull herself away from the bar too quickly enough and just took it off with her torso. So the clock is reset and she has another 5 minutes.
Ce serait un nouveau record du meeting. Ce serait même le premier record de la soirée, puisque jusqu'à présent on avait des bonnes performances, mais avec les pleins vents non homologables.
Kennedy just reviewing what she needs to do. Some consultation there. That looks like her coach, Paul Burgess. Very fine pole vaulter himself in times gone past. Should be going to the Olympic Games, looking for a little bit of redemption as well for her outing in Tokyo 3 years ago when she didn't get beyond the qualifiers. She went to Tokyo but carrying an injury, so she'll be looking for a medal when she gets to Paris without a doubt, where she'll come up against the likes of Katie Moon, the joint reigning world champion with her, and Molly Caudry, along with a number of others. It's been a great evening of athletics. Very interested to know what your personal favourite was. I have to say we've seen some very, very good triple jumping, albeit nearly all wind assisted. Absolutely terrific run from Cam Myers in the 1500 metres. They're two of my personal favourites. But this women's pole vault as well, with Nina Kennedy attempting 485 after winning with 470, and 3 personal bests by Marie-Jolie Bonin is up there as well. So, third and final attempt for Nina Kennedy, the Australian reigning world champion, the very last athlete in action here in Sotteville-le-Rouen. Haven't had a meeting record yet so far this evening, but this would be one if she goes clear. Oh, it's not to be, but a pretty decent effort. Possibly her third attempt was almost as good as the first one. Both very, very good efforts at 4.85 meters and a season's best for the Australian. Nevertheless, she'll go back and look at those videos at 4.85 and realise that she wasn't that far away. She She is getting very close to her best. And that'll give her a huge confidence boost for the next couple of meetings as she runs into Paris. Let's have a look at that attempt again. Yeah, it was almost there. It wasn't that far away, was it? Didn't quite have the height of the first one, but she almost managed to wriggle clear. So that concludes this 2024 Meeting International Sotteville-le-Rouen with the pole vault won by Nina Kennedy at 475. Marie-Julie Bonin, 470, takes second place. And Gabriella Leon of the United States, third with 460. So it's time for me, Phil Minshall, to say goodnight. And we hope you've enjoyed the past 2.5 hours coming to you from Sotteville-le-Rouen. Go to the European Athletics website, www.european-athletics.com, for details of all the forthcoming live streams on the European Athletics YouTube and Facebook channels. Thank you, and have a good evening.